We always love catching up with our guest. Today, he is a fan favorite here on StansberryInvestor.com. He's the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, also of his latest book, Capitalist Manifesto. We're going to be talking about that today with him. Please welcome back to the show, Robert Kiyosaki. Robert, always good to see you here on Stansberry Investor.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you.
So, like I said, we have a lot of ground to cover today. I was inspired by one of your tweets, Robert, where you recently said, let's look at Joe Biden's first 100 days here. Biden to start printing money. First step, change the rules of the Fed. That is why Janet Yellen, former Fed chairman, is Secretary of Treasury. Once the Fed rules changed, helicopters started dropping money directly to the people. Dollar will be destroyed. Buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin. So let's evaluate Joe Biden's first 100 days here, Robert.
That could be a little dangerous. You know, they took off Lou Dobbs, so I gotta watch what I say. And anyway, he's executive order after executive order. I hate to say that that's totalitarianism. You know what I mean? He's done more in the first 100 days. But significantly, you got to follow the bouncing banker. And when Yellen took over the Treasury, and she came from the Fed, you have to look at what's happening with Draghi in Italy, I think, and Mark Carney out of Bank of England. So follow the bouncing bankers. And then you have an idea what's really going on in the world. And many of the bouncing bankers like Carney and Draghi came from Goldman Sachs, as you know. So, I mean, just follow them. And that's why what's her name, Janet Yellen signifies is they can't get money into the economy fast enough by the old system. So they have to go directly to helicopter money. And that's why they need to reopen up the Fed bylaws and change the rules. And then they can print money directly and give it to the customer. Because right now the drawback is if I want money from the current system, I have to have good financial credit. And as you know, this COVID has shut down. I mean, people have been wiped out. They can't get loans. If they can't get loans, you can't get money to them. So Yellen going to the Treasury from the Fed means they'll get together now and go to the Weimar Republic or Zimbabwe, the worst case scenarios, and just print money directly to the customer, UBI MMT.
It's interesting you call them bouncing bankers, because I was speaking with another expert the other day who really highlighted that fact that, we saw former Fed chair Janet Yellen, now Treasury Secretary, Draghi, former head of the ECB, now slated to become Italy's next PM. It's like they're infiltrating the government now.
Well, there's a great book I read when I was younger and more stupid. I'm still younger and stupid, but anyway, it was called The Grunch of Giants by Buckminster Fuller. You can see it. And Grunch stands for Gross Universal Cashless. And so this was in 1983. I read that book. And then I read this book here, The Creature from Jekyll Island. You can tell I studied this stuff. I flunked out of school. I'm not a good student. But I like following bouncing bankers. And then there was this book here, was Max Kaiser's favorite book. It's called Critical Path by Buckminster Fuller. But this guy brings it up to date today, which is Rex. And just follow the bouncing bankers and you can see what's happening. It's war, financial warfare. And it's against the poor and middle class, against the proletariat. So that's what's happening. And that's why we're going to have this huge gap. The gap's only going to get wider, which leads to social unrest. And that's what I'm afraid of. That's why I speak and I say what I say.
Robert, do you think it will be more helicopter money than the Ben Bernanke days?
It has to be. That's why every time on your show, I don't know what the food fight is about, Peter Schiff saying gold and Max Kaiser saying it's Bitcoin. So you guys, why are you fighting amongst each other? Who cares? Why, as what's his name, Yogi Berra says, when you come to the fork in the road, take it. So you have gold, silver, and Bitcoin, just buy them. Who cares? Because the real enemy is this book here, The Grunch of Giants by Fuller. The bouncing bankers control the world.
Robert, I was happy to get you on the show so we could talk about Bitcoin, gold, and silver. You know, it's three of our favorite topics here at Stansberry Investor. Um, Tesla, you know, following in the footsteps of Michael Saylor, buying 1.5 billion in Bitcoin. That news blew me away. I wasn't surprised. You know, Elon Musk had been alluding and you know, hinting to a Bitcoin buy on his Twitter. What do you make of this? Do you think this will cause a fear of missing out for more CEOs, and this is just going to cause a domino effect here?
Yes, it's coming. There's more and more. The rumor, all of this rumor, but there's going to have more and more CEOs and CFOs really not to shift their treasury out of the dollar, you know, because it is a currency war. And you've got to get out of something they're printing and get into something that's going to retain value. And I think for many people, that is Bitcoin or Ethereum and things like this. So it's going to crypto. And that's why Draghi and all these guys, the European Central Union, are talking about cryptocurrency. And, you know, I started buying silver when I was 17 years old in 1964, when I saw that little copper tinge around my dime. I'm going, hey, you know, to say in Mexico, ¿qué pasa? What are they doing to our money? And that's Gresham's law. And that was what brought down the Roman Empire in Zimbabwe and Venezuela and the Weimar Republic. No fiat currency has ever survived. So in 1964, I'm a 17-year-old kid. I started collecting real silver coins. And then in 72, I'm a pilot in Vietnam. I went behind enemy lines to find out I wanted to buy gold because I couldn't buy gold in America. And this little Vietnamese woman, the little red teeth, you know, I tried to negotiate her down from $50. The spot was $50. It rose from 35 to 50. I'm trying to negotiate down to me a better deal, like maybe $42. What an idiot. But anyway, and she just, this little tiny woman just smiles at me and says, spot. That's the only English word she knew, spot. And I said, what the hell, spot? And then I really was surprised how gold and silver, what I call God's money, all over the world. You know, gold and silver have been here since the earth was formed. And so that's when I became kind of a gold bug and a silver bug. And I've taken two companies public, a gold mining company in China, which the Chinese took, and a silver mining company in Argentina. So I'm a hardcore, hard money, non-paper guy.
So let's talk about the silver market, because, you know, I've been covering this market for over 10 years, Robert, and I don't think I've ever seen so much excitement surrounding silver. So I know you were a supporter of what was happening on Reddit. You're always cheering for the little guys, and if they could take down hedge funds, fantastic. But you know, what do you make of what was happening and all this attention on silver? And do you think it will last?
Well, the problem was it GameStop? It's a fake.
Yep.
It's fake, 100% fake. That's not that. It's not worth anything. And so that's why they can play a silly little game of shorts and all that stuff. But the trouble with silver, it's a real asset. You know, it's an industrial metal first. And the biggest people that use it are some of the biggest corporations in the world, like Sony, Apple, Toshiba, any battery company. And now with, you know, the ESG, environmental social governance, which Carney took over from the Bank of England. You know what I mean? He's taken over that for a company called Brookfield in Canada. Everybody's shifting green. So silver is a green metal. And so I was really happy when Reddit at least stirred the water up, but they were messing with real companies. Toshiba, Apple, Tesla, Sony, Apple, you know, they were messing with the end user. And the thing I know since I started a gold mine, it's 100% manipulated. They keep the price low just so it doesn't blow their operating costs out of the water. But that's coming to an end now because the consumption of silver is going up while the stockpiles are going down. So I backed up the truck the other day. I went to my American Precious Metals guy, Jerry Williams. I said, how much silver you got? I said, I'll take it.
You took all of it?
Yeah. And greed is good, right? No, because inflation's coming. We all know it. That's what
Yeah.
that's what the Fed wants. They need inflation to pay off this mountain of 187 trillion in debt.
It's really hard to find those silver coins now, but I definitely thought of you. And it's, as you've mentioned, manipulation. It's revived the manipulation talk. Not that it ever went away, but a lot of silver investors finally feel like there's hope that if there is manipulation taking place, that it will finally come to the forefront and perhaps end now. Are you optimistic?
I'm sexually stimulated. I'm a hard asset guy. Like I said, I've been in silver since 1964. And that's what I love about you. You keep saying, I feel so sorry for those silver guys. I said, I don't, because it gave me time, because I had no money to take a position in silver and gold, and now Bitcoin. Now I have more money, so I'm in position. You know what I mean? Just as Janet Yellen and her comrades in the Biden administration take over the economy.
With so much focus now on Bitcoin and silver, it's like we've almost forgotten about gold. People have almost stopped talking about gold. It's not as exciting. You're still a big proponent of holding gold in a portfolio, right, Robert?
Hard gold, real gold. I don't like ETFs. I stay out of paper. Anything can be manipulated via the COMEX and all that, I stay out of. I'm pretty much hard asset guy. I'm not even in the stock market. I mean, that's how hard I went. I'm a Marine also, because we're hard-headed. But I also appreciate what you've always said for all these years, what you felt sorry for us silver and gold guys, because we're the Rodney Dangerfields of the investment world. We had no respect. But I always thought this was good because I could take bigger and bigger positions. So today, the hardest thing is storing all the gold and silver I have. I've collected over all these years. I never sell. And any idiot could have done it. When silver was like 10 cents, you could buy silver. And I just kept accumulating. I never saved dollars because I'm like Trump. I use debt. I use debt to buy real estate. And the more debt I use, the less tax I pay. So I had all this cash, and I always shifted cash to physical gold and silver. That's what Rich Dad Poor Dad's about. And so I've stayed. I'm an idiot because my friend offered me Apple at $18 a share. But I'm just kind of a stupid Marine. I said, I think I'll just stay and suffer with all the people that you feel sorry for, the gold and silver guys. So anyway, I think it's kind of entertainment right now.
Robert, I want to end on a very serious note, because I had interviewed you back in April, before all this social unrest really started, and you were fearful that a civil war would break out, and we've seen pockets of that with obviously the BLM movement, with the Capitol riots. Where do you see it headed now?
Well, just remember, when it's bad, it gets good. So I bought pallets of 5.56. I'm a Marine. I've done horrible things. I bought pallets of 5.56 ammunition at 10 cents a round. And now you can't get 5.56. That's a 223 ammunition we fought in Vietnam. So I'm selling my ammunition. I make millions on ammunition. So one round of 223 or 5.56, same thing, went to $1. So from 10 cents to $1, I have pallets of it. So there's always, what I'm saying, there's always an opportunity, and that's why they should listen to you at Stansberry and all this. No, because you're bringing in people from the real world. I'm on the front line every single day. I have Class 3 machine guns. Why? Because I'm a Marine. I'm the guy they spit on when they came back from Vietnam. And I lost several friends. This one guy was really proud. He said he burned his draft card. I said, good for you. But then he got on my case for going to Vietnam. And I said, well, somebody had to go. You know what I mean? But they don't see it that way. So that's where we are today, Danielle. And the divide between Americans is so tragic. So I do my best to give both sides the positive and the negative. So the reason I can sell my ammo at such high prices because there's no ammo. They've, just like gold, silver, 223, 9mm, 38 special, and Bitcoin. It's the hard assets that are starting to win right now. So it's always a silver lining. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to take sides, but I think that people should wise up. That's all I'm saying. That's why Stansberry Report, what you do is educating people. And I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I just take a point of view.
Robert, I would definitely be afraid to show up at your house with all that ammunition.
No, I don't keep it here all. But I'm trying to say is that it's the time has changed. I'm not Republican or Democrat. Trump is my friend, but I think it's time we all wised up. That's all I'm saying, and that's why I appreciate what you do. And feeling sorry for silver and gold guys. Don't worry, we're doing very well right now. So we appreciate the compassion.
It's not that I feel sorry. I respect their patience,
Yeah.
but everything is cyclical. So I'm sure they'll get their day soon.
Yeah.
Robert, as always, I appreciate your thoughts and your time, and I appreciate you, always complimenting us. And we do absolutely try and bring on real people, real folks, real stories, and real education.
Yeah.
I just want to wrap up because you're bringing us a new gift here with Capitalist Manifesto. Tell us a little bit about your latest book here.
Well, I was a surfer kid in Hawaii growing up, completely hopeless and worthless and all this. I went to military school in New York, right on Long Island, not too far from you. And I got shaped up. And then I joined the Marine Corps. But at the academy, it was a Merchant Marine Academy in New York, Kings Point, I had an economics teacher who had us read the Communist Manifesto. And he talked about how socialists had murdered the most people on planet Earth. The highest death counts come from socialists. And he says, gentlemen, that's what we're fighting for. So I went to military school, not college, not Berkeley or Stanford and all that stuff. But where the reason we have communism taking over America is because 99% of the college kids leaving school have never read the Communist Manifesto. So I decided to write the Capitalist Manifesto. What is capitalism? And then people can decide. Well, it's not right or wrong. It's just that I fought for capitalism. I am a capitalist. Trump and I are capitalists. We wrote 2 books together. And that's why I'm for sound money, Mises and Hayek and the Austrian system of economics, not the Keynesian, which is socialist. But we don't know that in school. So that's why I wrote Capitalist Manifesto to counterposition the Communist Manifesto. So it'll be out probably April or May.
They should be teaching this stuff in schools, Robert. I know you're good friends with President Donald Trump. Have you spoken to him since the election?
No, I am just my wife is the most important. She loves the guy. I love the guy. Working with him was 8 years of heaven, and his family, like Eric and Don Jr., they're the greatest young men around. And so it's sad what's happened to America. And I think that's what happened. And as you know, in 71, when Nixon took us off the gold standard, it was exactly as Lenin said. If you want to destroy capitalism, debauch the currency. And that's what happened in 71.
Robert Kiyosaki. What can I say? I love having you on the show. Come back anytime. StansberryInvestor.com, Robert.
Yeah, and thank you for the compassion. I appreciate it. It made me a rich man.
I'm not feeling bad for you, Robert. I know you're more than fine. So thank you again, and thank you for watching. We'll have much more for you. Check out StansberryInvestor.com. We have a lot of content there. In the meantime, follow us on all our social media platforms. Thank you for watching. I'm Daniela Cambone.